NBA insider for ESPN, friend of the program, and a man who I believe had something just cross his phone. Ladies and gentlemen, Shams Charania. Shams, great to see you. You look amazing. Thank you for joining us.
Great seeing you, and as much as I'd love to say how much I miss you, we do have some news. USA Basketball is expected to name Erik Spoelstra as the next men's national team head coach, sources tell me. And so Spoelstra now succeeds Steve Kerr as the head coach. He'll be on the World Cup sideline in 2027 and then the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles in 2028. Grant Hill, the NBA legend, he's actually managing director of Team USA Basketball, and he really narrowed on Erik Spoelstra this entire year, ever since Spoelstra served as the lead assistant on Steve Kerr's staff. And so what we've seen is an infrastructure, a cycle. Greg Popovich was the coach of the Tokyo Olympics several years ago. Steve Kerr was on his staff. He replaces Greg Popovich. This next cycle, Spoelstra was on Steve Kerr's staff, replaces, and now he's going to have a cycle here. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be multiple cycles here for Erik Spoelstra. The job he's done as an NBA coach, the job that he did on the international level, he really impressed a lot of the players, a lot of the Team USA officials in the last Olympics. And it's crazy how young he looks. He's actually the longest tenured active NBA head coach. So he will be the next Team USA men's basketball head coach.
Congrats, Spo. Spo. That's awesome. Okay, so we got the World Cup. We obviously have the Olympics. What else is the head coach of the men's national team in charge of? What other things? Are they setting the tone for all of USA men's basketball and scouting, recruiting, all that type of stuff for future generations? What added jobs here, other than just this World Cup and Olympics that we all see, does Spo pick up now that he's the head of USA basketball? The greatest country on earth, the greatest basketball history on earth, in a time where it feels like the world's getting good.
Yeah.
The world's getting really good right now at hoops, so Spo is going to have to manage that as we go forward. But what other jobs does he have other than the big tournaments that we see?
Pat, it's going to be the culture of the team, the environment, the structure that he's going to implement first and foremost. And then as time goes on, the years go on, as we get closer to the 2027 World Cup and then the 2028 Summer Olympics, it's being involved with Grant Hill, the rest of the USA basketball officials, on figuring out who's going to be on these rosters. You think about how talented of a group that 2028 squad is going to be. It could also be a younger group. Steph Curry, LeBron James, they were very vocal privately, a little bit publicly, that they wanted to have one final USA basketball run. So this is it for them. Kevin Durant has kind of left the door open. We'll see where he's at in 2028. But this is going to be a really new team. This is going to be a young team that we're going to see. It's going to be led by different players. So being a part of that, and then the next step is also setting his own coaching staff. And so you think about Steve Kerr's coaching staff. He had Erik Spoelstra, Ty Lue, Mark Few, the iconic college coach at Gonzaga. So Ty Lue will not be on Erik Spoelstra's staff, from what I'm told. So Erik Spoelstra is going to have a new staff as he takes over as the USA basketball coach.
Is there a chance that maybe Missoula gets on there so Tatum can play?
Yeah.
That's a name certainly you have to look at. But when you think around the league, whether it's a Joe Mazzulla, Mark Daigneault in Oklahoma City, Jamal Mosley's another coach in Orlando who has had some time in the USA basketball pipeline, and he's someone you think about that Orlando team on the come up. They should have a good chance in the Eastern Conference as well. So I think those are some of the, I think you have to put Missoula in there as well. But I think those are the other couple names that I would look at as well.
Well, strictly so that maybe Tatum gets on court.
Yeah.
Maybe because I think for the good of America, even though we won, so hey, but going forward, we need to make sure that Tatum is on the court, assuming that his Achilles recovery goes very well. Which, are we ahead of schedule in that? Am I reading things that we're in a really good spot? No, I don't want to put any type of. I think any recovery or rehab is its own journey. There's so many things that can happen during it, especially when you're talking about an Achilles heel. But when we're talking about Tatum, I get, from what we've been reading, good signs, right, going forward. And I think he even came out and said, everybody else said that I'm not playing this season. I've never said that, which was wild to hear because it's just kind of understood almost at this point in basketball with the Achilles.
So, Pat, you think about the three players, the three superstar players that tore their Achilles tendon in the playoffs. Damian Lillard, he's now in Portland. He's already said he's done. He's not going to play this upcoming season. The Blazers have already ruled him out for the entire season. The other player, Tyrese Halliburton, your guy, he's already been ruled out by the Pacers for the entire season. He's said himself he's out for the season. So those two guys suffered Achilles tears. They've already been ruled out. Jason Tatum, on the other hand, the Celtics have not ruled him out. I think the Celtics are cautiously optimistic. Clearly, Jason Tatum has a goal in his mind that he wants to play. Now, whether he can get there by the time we're in February, March, April, we'll see. And we'll see how that team is going to be. There's so many doctor's clearances that come into play here, Pat, as you get closer to the end. And let's say he's in March and he's feeling 100%, but the team's not really competing for anything. Do you really throw him out there? There's going to be a lot of questions. There's probably going to be 15 to 20 people in that room that are going to make that decision for Jason, with Jason Tatum, I would say. While the other two are out for the season, though. So that is a saving grace. And Jason Tatum, I saw that video as well, like the rest of the world a couple weeks ago. He is moving differently than anyone that I've seen. Several, 4 or 5 months removed.
I saw Tyrese walking a red carpet, so let's just
At
make
Palooza?
sure
I saw that too.
At WrestlePalooza, he actually came with me. We got right in there as close as possible, so you didn't have to walk as far. That's why we did.
Cutting? Was he cutting? Was he
Cutting up? Yeah, dude's always got jokes, bro.
Yeah.
Always let the jokes fly, like he lets game winners fly. We're gonna miss him. Maybe Coach Carlisle, another name that we need to float into the universe to be coaching Team USA.
Yes.
Would love to see him experience the Olympics, and how he does would be spectacular. You just broke some news the other day, early in the morning on the internet. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Shams, the Knicks were the team Giannis wanted to go to. Was there any trades that were kind of basically about to be made? Was it ever that close? Was there any packages discussed, or is this just more basketball news about stuff that almost happened that didn't?
I think the two things that happened here that have never happened with Giannis Antetokounmpo. One, he made clear privately to the people that needed to know that the New York Knicks were the only team that he wanted a potential trade to if the Milwaukee Bucks would oblige. Now, that's the big if. The Bucks have made it clear they want to give this another shot with Giannis Antetokounmpo. They feel like with Giannis there, this team has a championship opportunity. And there were a series of meetings over the offseason, but there was one in particular. There was one in late June. John Horst, the Bucks general manager, I'm told he flew to Greece. It was a one-day trip, 6,000 miles. He went and sat down with Giannis Antetokounmpo. He sold Giannis on why this team is a championship caliber team. Giannis had his concerns about whether he thought this team could actually win a championship. So you have a team that feels like this is a title contending roster, a player that shared and aired out his uneasiness about it. And so that led to some conversations with the Knicks. The Knicks did make offers, I'm told, multiple offers. And so no deal happened. The Knicks felt like the Bucks were never serious. Some people in Milwaukee believe that the Knicks never made offers serious enough to even continue trade conversations. This was a multi-week process.
So that's what
One person described it to me as an exclusive negotiating window. We've never gotten to that point with Giannis.
It was a bunch of nothing. Yeah, it was a bunch of.
He's there now. We'll see what happens this season. The quarter mark of the year is going to be very important. 25 games in. And Giannis Antetokounmpo said it himself that right now he's committed. He's locked in. He said 6-7 months from now, I don't know where I'll be. We'll see.
Living legend and icon, Al Michaels.
Yeah!
Al, how you doing, bub?
Patrick, all right, two things. Number one, I tried to find a tank top in New York to dress appropriately for the show.
Tough.
Secondly, do you have another $300,000 that I could be a part of in terms of, maybe have Herb Street throw another thing through the uprights?
Al, maybe I should start tapping into your bank account now that I think 40 years of primetime NFL football. I need to start drawing from that bank.
Well, what do I have to do? It's a good question. I'm looking for, I'm trying to, what am I trying to do right now? I'm trying to do nothing.
Why don't you give me money for these? Okay, so you will be funding, Al Michaels will be the sponsor for the field goal kicks going forward. That is awesome news. Hey, I'll run you out of that plane that you're in every week if you let me. Knicks this week, $2 million kick from Al Michaels' money. Herbie drained that for Gabby down there in Alabama. It was a magical moment. You and Herbie, obviously now, year 4 together on Amazon. How has it been this year? Feels like we've had some great games.
Fantastic. I mean, the last 2 games have gone down to the wire. Can't ask for anything more. We had Green Bay, Washington in the opener, good game. Mm-hmm. We had Miami. They didn't figure to hang in there with Buffalo, and they did, so that was a good game. Arizona, Seattle went to the end, and last week went to overtime and the end. So we're on a roll right now. Hopefully it keeps up tonight. I don't know. We'll see. But the Eagles are something like a one touchdown favorite tonight. I mean, Pat, the sky is falling in Philadelphia. They have won 20 of 22 games. What? I mean, I don't get it. This is crazy. I know everybody hates everybody, but isn't it a little? It's a little ridiculous at this point. They are 20-2 over the last calendar year.
I know that.
Not good enough.
Al, I know that as well. They're 4-1 right now. But if you look at this tail of the tape here that we found from team rankings, it's like the Philadelphia Eagles have not been playing like what we know the Philadelphia Eagles can play like. So that has brought the Johns out to be very negative about a 4-1 team. On that note, they just got embarrassed at home against the Broncos. Fourth quarter, they lose 18-0 in the fourth quarter at home. This could have been a Sunday game, and they would have had to wait 7 days. Could have been a Monday night game, and they would have had to wait 8 days. Instead, 4 days, and they're back on the field. What has it been like talking to the Philadelphia people? Are they eager to get back out there? And on the flip side, Jackson Dart and the boys lose to the Saints. They give Spencer Rattler his first win in 11 starts. So both teams, I assume, wanted to get back on the field. What are you hearing from both of them?
I think any team that loses on Sunday wants to play on Thursday, so they can wash it away real quickly. So you get the sense that that's the case. With the Eagles, I mean, go back a year. They were 2-2. They wanted to fire everybody a year ago. And then they got on, of course, a roll. But before that, too, remember in 23, they melted down. What were they, like 10-1 and lost 6 of the last 7 or whatever? And the wild card game in Tampa Bay. And then they're 2-2 last year, and everybody's saying, oh, get rid of the coach, get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy. Who lifted the Lombardi trophy? So it's amazing. Those numbers were terrible. They're at the bottom of the league in almost everything. Defensively, when they were great last year, I mean, defensively, they're so-so this year. So nothing seems to line up statistically. But I don't, this team has too much talent not to get on a good roll down the stretch. I think they will.
What are your thoughts on the Giants after talking to Dayball, Jackson Dart, Scattaboo, and the boys? Feels like they're trying to start their new era here, a brand new era of Giants football.
Oh, yeah. Everybody was so excited, of course, after the Charger game, because the Chargers come in undefeated. Now it's the Jackson Dart era. This kid has, do you know him at all? He's got a lot of moxie, and I'm telling you, he's a confident guy, makes his decisions very quickly. We love talking. We've had him in the preseason. Now we've had him again. Between him and Scattaboo, I think the future is extremely bright for both of those guys. For the rest of the team, we'll see. I mean, this is a team. You know what's so crazy, Pat? Over the last 8 years, the Giants in preseason, we had the number that they had the worst record over the last 8 years coming into the season. Now they have the second worst. Which team has the worst over the last 8 years?
Last 8 years. Jets, got to be.
Got it. You got it, man.
Bang!
So didn't they call Cleveland the factory of sadness? What is MetLife?
Well, especially after this Yankees loss with what they're going through, Al. I know you're a big baseball guy.
There you go.
Did you hear Ty losing his mind right there as a Yankees fan about what happened? Look, he's still pissed. Go ahead, Al.
Not only that, the Penguins shut the Rangers out 3-0 the other night.
True. Yep.
Hey, we're back, by the way. The Pens are back, brother. They need to know. Damn news. This new guy, bald head, not a lot of voice. He's ready to take over. But yeah, it's a state of sadness over there. And then also we hear Giannis wanted to go to the Knicks, but they couldn't make it. I mean, everything New York-wise.
It's pouring right now.
Not great over there. Okay, so tonight, obviously, we have an NFC East battle. Feels like there's a lot of divisional games happening on Thursday again. This used to be the story. You were on Sunday nights, I think, so I don't know if you paid attention to what Thursday night used to be. Keller Rush and all that was always a divisional game because they felt like it was fair for all parties to have a meaningful game on a Thursday night. And then also, I think they were trying to build up Thursday night as an NFL night, so they wanted good games. The divisional game certainly gave them that. We're seeing that again this year, it feels like. Is this going to be a new norm again, almost, for Amazon?
I think so. Not only for Amazon, but I mean, you look at the Netflixes of the world coming in and the YouTubes. The league wants streaming to work. There's no question about that. So we started out that first year, the schedule was so-so, had a couple of decent games. I thought a seminal thing was last year when the league gave us Cowboys-Giants streaming on a Thursday night. That was big because, I mean, that's always been kind of a primetime matchup for either NBC or for Monday Night Football. So I thought that was big. This year, again, we've got a lot of great, Detroit and Dallas down the line. But the way we started out, Washington and Green Bay and the rest. So the league is definitely invested in making this is the future. There's no question about it.
Earlier today, AJ, we called Coach McCarthy. And on the spot, because of the conversation we were having in the Thunderdome, we're like, hey, who are the top 5 quarterbacks from the 2025 season? We said to him. And he goes, he starts thinking he has to look. I think he was dropping off his kid at school, right? Is that not what you're doing?
Correct. And I, pulled over legally and returned your text.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. We appreciate that. Yeah, thank you doing that. But he said, well, off the top of my head here, because he didn't get the so we would like to preface this, that we asked Coach McCarthy for his top 5 of the first 5 of the 2025 NFL season, and he was not allowed. He was not given any thought or checking of anything.
Sure,
this is literally fastball. This is immediately upon being asked. Number 5, who did you have, Coach McCarthy?
Daniel Jones.
Yes, you did. I like that. How come? What do you think?
Well, when Connor asked the question, where my mind goes in quarterback play is completion percentage. That's where who's dealing the football, who's getting the ball to the playmakers, completions and rushes, staying on time, and obviously who's winning, who's affecting winning. And so, Daniel is definitely off to a great start. His numbers speak for themselves. I'm not sure exactly what they are, but I know he has great numbers, situational numbers. You see that in his red zone production, throwing touchdowns and so forth. But I think he's doing a job getting the ball distributed because, the old 70% completion percentage is something that I've always, that's what I grew up on. You go back to the early, can I pontificate here or do we got to get through these?
No, take your time, brother.
Pontificate, sir.
Yeah, but when I got in the league in the 90s, Paul Hackett was my mentor. And he always quoted, Coach Walsh about 70% completion. That was the essence and really a key component of the West Coast offense. So we used to have a sign. We used to have a sign in our quarterback room that said 70% completion percentage, and there was only 4 at that time in the history, and they were Joe Montana, Steve Young, Ken Anderson, and Sammy Baugh, and 3 of the 4 were coached by Coach Bill Walsh. So that's my base on. If to being productive, getting that ball completed. And then now you look at this generation of quarterbacks, there's got to be 8, 9, 10, 11. There's so many guys that play where I think Drew Brees has done it so many times. I've lost count. Aaron, Tom, I think Mahomes has done it. Goff has done it the last couple of years. So I just think you're seeing the quality of quarterback play, but that's always been a starting point for me. They're not throwing interceptions. Who's getting the ball completed?
Slinging Sammy Baugh, also a punter. People forget about that every once in a while.
Right.
Incredible ball kicker. And the quarterbacks have only gotten better. Danny Dimes has certainly seemingly reached his maximum potential here in Shane Steichen's offense. Let's go to a guy that would fit in any era. At number 4, you said Matthew Stafford. How come, Coach?
I've got to see him play a lot of football, and I just what I have seen of him this year, he's on time. Obviously, him and Puka are shattering records right now. So, ball distribution, he can make any throw still on the field. Great anticipator, phenomenal confidence on the inside throws. I've always loved that about Matthew. But I think he's playing at the Pro Bowl Hall of Fame level that he's played on his whole career.
Devontae over there, obviously McVay doing his thing. Puka is on pace to break some records. That's a special team out there, especially with their young defense clicking in all cylinders so quickly. They obviously put the Philadelphia Eagles deep into the 12th round.
Yeah. Yes,
in that last year's playoff game. They were the only ones that came close once the Eagles started kind of pummeling teams. Seems like McVay's only going to have good squads. All right, let's go to the top 3 QBs of the first 5 weeks of the 2025 season. Dak Prescott.
Okay.
Oh, Coach.
Homer.
Go ahead, Coach.
Oh, Homer, absolutely. He's playing it off. I don't know what his completion percentage is, but I know it's going to be well over 70%. I just love the way he's distributing the football.
71.3.
71.3. Thank you. He's and I like the maturity of the perimeter group, and you got an offensive line that's got a lot of depth there. So exciting on offense, and I just think he's managing that thing exactly the way it needs to be managed.
There is 10 guys above 70% completion percentage right now. Hembo just sent a text in letting us know that. Dak is certainly one of them, 71.3%.
Yeah, so it's 10-1, including Tyrod Taylor. He's played 2 games. Tyrod, Josh Allen, Tua, C.J. Stroud, Dak, Dan Jones, Lamar, Sam Darnold, Drake May, Jared Goff are the 10-1.
So Dak Prescott, 71.3%, operating incredibly in Schottenheimer's first year as the head coach over there. Dallas Cowboys could go on a run. Dak playing special ball down there. That's number 3. Who are the top 5? First 5 QBs. Baker May, hey, there he is.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy's a dog.
Great
This dude's got moxie.
Yeah.
What do you think about him, Coach McCarthy?
Well, he's got a completion percentage too, I'm sure. No, he's definitely playing that. What I love about Baker, and that's really why he's where he is what is it? 4 of the 5 games have come down to the end. So he's playing great football at the most important time. When you look at over the course of a regular season, half your games will come down to a 2-minute drill, and he's already got 4 under his belt already. So I just think he's playing top-notch football right now.
We love Baker, especially 4 games, 4 comeback wins in their first 5 games, and then they have 2 last play wins. So that means you're talking about a team, a belief, a culture that he is leading. And to go into Seattle, that's a long flight, and get a big-time win after talking with that fan before entering the field. That's what we love about him, AJ. That is the little things that we love about Baker Mayfield.
He's the man. Coach, I understand you like Baker and everything. Did you ever see this success, like him making this step, especially the weird route that he has traveled to get to Tampa and where he is?
I actually I think when you get to the end of these journeys, those experiences were probably a big part of why he's having the success he's having, because it's really been going on his whole life. He went to Texas Tech as a walk-on, I think. I mean, and then had to leave Tech to go to Oklahoma. So I mean, this guy has. You talk about resilience. I mean, he could write the book on it. So I think it's just part of his journey. I think there's no surprise why he continues to get better.
Currently has 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's 4th in yards in the NFL. And obviously, we're watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in incredible jerseys play electrifying football games. And the number 1 quarterback in the NFL this season through the first 5, the reigning MVP, the odds-on favorite to be the MVP, Josh Allen. What have you seen in the first 5 weeks of Josh that puts you number 1 here, Coach?
I just love the way he attacks the position. He can make all the throws in the pocket, out of the pocket. I mean, his patience and confidence in play extension is as good as you can be. I mean, how many times you see him just, get to the sideline, gain another 2 seconds, 3 seconds. There's never a play that can't be made, when Josh has the ball. I just think he's. I think he's playing it unbelievable right now. So.
I mean, he was just smacking that guy's head right there, too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not scared to mix it up. He'll get in there in the gruff a little bit.
And he's undefeated. I mean, it's one of those things.
They're not.
Well, they lost to the Patriots, but
that was Connor, obviously, Coach. Yeah.
Oh, that's all right,
Coach.
He did that. He did this to you right there. He literally just fished.
Hook, line, and sinker, Coach.
But Josh is special. He is, Coach. He's special.
He's special. No, he is. He really is. I mean, and really the size, strength, and speed, just the way he plays the position. And he just attacks it. I love watching him play.
How about his development from year 1 to year 2, year 3? Like every offseason, there's like significant growth in his game. Like literally from year 1 to year 2, it was like, wait a minute, this guy doesn't suck. We thought he potentially was just a runner. This guy might become a tight end. Maybe we put big hands, he can catch the ball pretty good. Let's put him at tight end. He's jumping over guys. He can't throw a ball. Then year 1 to year 2, he gets better. Then year 2 to year 3, he becomes elite. Then year 3 to year 4, it's like, is this guy the best player in the NFL? And then he's kind of carried that along. So his work ethic is stupendous. And I think his love of the game is very evident if you watch that Hard Knocks. He's a good face of the NFL right now, even though obviously we have a few. Josh Allen is a very good face of the NFL, I think, Coach.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember just when Josh came out of Wyoming, they had statistics, the college breakdown about his accuracy, and I could just remember, talking through the evaluation process. I says, yeah, but it's hard to be accurate when you throw the ball to the moon. I mean, this guy just needs help. So I mean, he's one of the best players, or maybe the best player in our game right now.